So what's your reasons for pulling off the canal, coming down the bottom lake?
I think the main reason for putting off the canal is the biggest fish that resided in the canal, unfortunately, earlier this year died. And I just fancied a change, and I've come back to Cackle Hill. It's the lake on the bottom lake is a lake that I fished about 3 years ago to some extent and was quite successful on. And I've come back.
Stocks. They've moved some fish, haven't they, a few years ago to the other venues, changed the other specimen lakes. So what's stockings? We're low stock, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it was it had a good head of fish in, and they were really nice fish. And the owners took a decision a couple of years ago to net this particular lake and move the carp up to the top lake, so creating a specimen lake which was bigger. When you net a lake, it's very hard to say that you've got every single fish out. So there's probably a couple of fish that slipped through the net, and that's what I'm now fishing for. And it'd be interesting to see how they've progressed over those years when they've been really left alone.
So we're going on based off how many fish went in to how many fish come out. So we're doing the maths of what's left and what fish come out. So
yeah, so we're probably looking at maybe 5 fish. And when you consider the fact that when I was fishing the canal, I was fishing for 5 fish in 7 miles, I'm now possibly fishing for 5 fish in less than 2 acres, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
So the rig, let's talk about rigs, because we know you're a bit of a rig guru, so there's obviously got to be a specified rig for this venue.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, all the fishing is under the rod tips. We're keeping it all very close in. We're not casting any distance, In fact, my bait is literally 6 foot from my rod tips. So, as with all my fishing, I have a keen and healthy interest in rigs, but when it comes to my own fishing, I try to keep things as effective and as simple as possible. So the fact of the matter is, I've got a little length of sinking braid. This is armour braid, but you've got dark matter, you've got other sinking braids out there. I've got the good old faithful trout hook, Thinking Anglers hook ring swivel, and to that we've just got a single solitary hook bait, and it's as simple as that. I tend to double over the line at this end so it loops onto the swivel, and that then forms a little bit of a stiff boom without having to add yet more accessories or components to the rig. And it's a very effective rig. I've caught so many carp on it over my lifetime, and it presents well over the bottom. And when you're fishing close in, obviously on the bottom you're going to have some reed stems, a bit of reed, etc., a few dead branches even, and I just like the fact that this will just lay over any bottom and it's effective.
Perfect. And alarms, I can see your choice of Delkins. There's a reason for it though, isn't there? Because of the setup.
Yeah, the reason that I use Delkins is down the canal, and when I'm fishing close in, I'm always fishing with my reels totally locked up. I don't use a sort of slack clutch or a bait run or a bite and run system, however it's sort of perceived now. So I keep my lines, my reels tightened up. So the only bit of line movement that I've got is the line going down to the rig, and the fish literally just hook themselves, and the rod tip then bends and bounces about. And I feel that with the Delkins being a vibration sensing system,
that's being the key, the vibration, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Whereas with there's absolutely nothing wrong with the conventional roller reel, and I struggle with that to say that alarms, but I just feel if you're fishing locked up, you get a lot more registration on the vibration system that's within the Delkins, hence why I use the Delks.
Perfect.